welcome to Oz by Drone. I'm Greg and he's not John. Welcome again, Lloyd the grumpy vlogger.
Hello, hello, hello. How you doing?
There's the wonders of Wirecast. The sound suddenly changed as soon as we changed the shot, but anyway, and I can see another one's down.
Okay, can you still hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, can they hear me?
They can hear you. Hello, Lloyd.
How you doing? How you doing, Greg? Hey.
You've got to love Wirecast. You start changing one knob and then another one changes, and anyway, it happens every week. Welcome to Oz by Drone. We'll not talk about Wirecast anymore. What we will talk about, what are you up to, my friend? Why are you here?
Well, I had the best internet and you were desperate, and John wasn't able to, he didn't have internet, and at the last minute, like I said, bottom of the barrel. After you guys get through making Vegemite, I'm underneath.
So what actually happened, John Morrison is, he's been on a cruise, poor little thing. And
it's sad.
And then he went to New Zealand, doubly poor little thing. Why would you go to New Zealand? No, I'm kidding. It's a lovely place. But he went to New Zealand, and the next thing you know, he's got no internet. So as a result, John text messaged me a little bit earlier today and said, I got to get you to press the panic button. And when you press the panic button, the next thing you know, you've got Lloyd there. So
that's usually how it works. When I show up, it's always a panic.
Yeah. So, look, thanks for coming in and being our guest. A couple of quick little things at the top of the show. Just a reminder, if you've got any messages that you want to bring to our attention, put the hashtag chat in there, and that will bring it to our attention. It'll come up on the screen. Mel will see that, and he'll go and press some other buttons that'll make it come there instead of the one that's there at the moment. Number two, today is the last day. Today is the last day of having our producer here. We've got a new producer coming next show. So today our producer, and the name who shall not be mentioned because I get into trouble, my daughter, has got a job. Oh my goodness. So,
excellent.
So she's going off.
Going to work. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, so she's going off to work, and next week we're not going to be on this day. We're going to be, if you're in Australia, we're going to be on Saturday. If you're in the US, we're going to be on Fridays. So work that out, 24 hours earlier than the old show time, and that's where we'll be. So that's a little bit of news at the top of the show. So speaking of news, we've got some really good news. The amount of stuff that we've got this week is absolutely incredible. Let's get started with the news.
What do we got here? The Surfpunk 310 is the source.
Yeah.
Lots of various methods of dealing with drones, including bigger drones with nets, special shotgun shells, bazookas, futuristic jammer guns, and even specially trained eagles. That'll be fun. A surfing event in Hawaii took a different approach. The organizers of the event chose to knock out of there using a helicopter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a story that for those of us who also watch Ken's show, we've seen this. But I've decided to change the soundtrack for a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting. Let's watch the video. So a nice surfing event at the moment. So the organisers of this event didn't like the idea of a drone. So what do? And we've got the great Western kind of sound music in the background. They're trying to shoot it out of the sky with water bottles, thongs, snorkeling equipment, and anything else they can find ready to hand.
That's just sad. Oh, that's just...
And then finally, so sending in a helicopter to bring down a drone. So as you can hear, I've got, you know, the military marching in right now. What are they going to do? Send in a fighter jet and bring the helicopter down? It's absolutely clear the drone was doing the wrong things, you know, flying over that many people. But that does not give any justification whatsoever for downing an aircraft. It's no different to you know, pushing an aircraft down with a helicopter is the same as a fighter jet going and shooting a helicopter out of the sky. What's the difference? It's still an aircraft, and you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, so, and the dangers of that thing hitting anybody down there, or you know, being caught up in the lift or something. You know, any number of things could have happened with that drone and that helicopter. That was just had to be. The chopper pilot was dumber than the guy flying the drone, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to be clear, this is not new news. It's actually a year ago. This happened 1 year ago, but it's only recently started to be published in a few drone circles, and people are becoming aware of it. So for those in the US, I encourage you, write to the FAA. Let them know that you think the helicopter pilot should be sanctioned. Anyway, enough on that for now. Let's move on. Second story of the day.
Okay. Amarin successfully completes industry-leading 60-mile drone flight over transmission lines. Amarin Black and Beach Collins Aerospace team passes key milestone for maturing UAS inspection technology.
So yeah, this is really cool. I don't have any video footage of it, but in a nutshell, it's some power lines, and they've gone and flown 30 miles beyond visual line of sight. And this is really, really cool. It's a good, you know, fairly good distance. But then if we actually go to our next story, and I'll quickly share the next part of it. So what's been happening beyond that is that National Grid are turning to artificial intelligence to process drone data. So as well as going and doing beyond visual line of sight, this energy firm is using machine learning to sift through the drone image data to maintain thousands of miles of wires and pylons. So really cool way of using drones. Number one, BVLOS to go and film it. Number two, using AI to go and interpret that. So some good use of drone technology there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'm going to move on quickly. We've got a lot of cool stories today. The next one we've got, this is way cool. The story's called Flex. And the guys who made this is a 9-piece flexible drone. So just watch the video and we'll have a look.
A little higher.
We'll have a look.
Oh boy. Well, it's more oscillatory than I expected.
Actually watched this the other day and just blown away by it.
We'll have a look.
Oh boy. Well, it's more oscillatory than I expected.
I actually watched this the other day and just blown away by it.
We'll have a look.
Oh boy. Well, it's more oscillatory than I expected.
I actually watched this the other day and just blown away by it.
We'll have a look.
Oh boy. Well, it's more oscillatory than I
Sorry about that, folks. I had something weird happening with audio there, but we found it and fixed it. But beautiful concept in terms of the aircraft there. Nine pieces all linked together and flying in unison with one controller.
Yeah, I watched that the other day and it just blew my mind. I mean, it was just fun to watch. They didn't expect it to do quite as well as it did, and there were other things they weren't expecting, you know.
Yeah, but then comes the landing.
Turning around, setting up a landing approach. It doesn't feel like I have as much power as I did before. I'm good now. Coming up on throttle. Leveling. Yeah, that turned.
Ouch is right. Way to land your aircraft. But from a concept aircraft, I think that's absolutely awesome. You know, really, really cool technology.
Yeah, when I saw that the other night, I have to watch it. Yeah, it's one of those things I do. You'd think I'd have enough of YouTube with everything I do on it, but I was surfing and found that the other night, and I was just like, oh my God, those guys are nuts.
Yeah. But speaking of which, finding these kind of articles, if you notice in the chat room, there's Dronebook being mentioned every now and again. Please do go to Dronebook. All of the news comes in there. Jeff puts it in there diligently, and it makes its way through to Ken's show and to Ausby Drone. If you've got any news articles or videos you want to share, go to the links section in Drone Book and we'll include it. Absolutely. Always good to have submissions there.
Yeah, I forget to do that too because I'm always surfing. YouTube. It's, you know,
we've got the good stuff. We do the searching for you. We find only the good stuff.
Well, there you go. I'm going to start paying more attention to it then.
By the way, Mel, I'm not seeing the title stuff come up. So
yes, while I've got you on here, Mel texted me he lost all internet. Apparently, the hillbilly internet crashed and died.
Okay, I'll work out and try and get a few titles coming up in a short while. In the meantime, the next story we've got is look, it's a brief advertisement from a company. Everyone's been looking at different drone parachutes over time. This one's got something that's really cool. Let's play. So the interesting thing here is absolutely this protective tube that comes out during deployment. Now, I don't know how the other guys are doing it, but certainly the biggest risk to me when you're having a look at a drone parachute deployment is always going to be clearing the props. They've developed some technology, and I can't remember the name of it, but if you want to have a look at it, certainly search up this company. The details of where the content came from is in the description for the video. But a really, really cool idea.
Yeah, because the problem is usually the lines get tangled in the props, and yeah, I could see where that's absolutely an ingenious idea. Yeah.
Okay, next story. I don't have any video or other information on, just a quick one. Recently, we had another moron flying over an airport, but this one happened in Australia. So there's a hunt after someone was found flying a plane over Perth Airport. The Australian aviation watchdog CASA and the Australian Federal Police are hunting for the operator of the drone. The drone was seen at 7:38 p.m. on this particular day by a pilot in a plane taking off, and also by an airport worker near the runways to the Qantas terminal. In the departing plane, the pilot was alerted by the reflection of the sun off the white drone. He reported it to air traffic control after takeoff. Now, these kind of morons are the reasons why we have overzealous regulators, and it's just got to stop. But I don't know that there is an answer. You can't regulate stupid.
Yeah. I don't know if you probably can't see my shirt, but I'm wearing a shirt that says CSI, can't stand idiots. I wore that just special for people like that.
Yeah. Look, thanks for that. But look, I hope they catch him. I hope they also do catch the guy that was flying that helicopter. Back to that story. But anyway, let's move on. The next story we've got today is about the Zephyr. Now, this is I pressed the wrong title button, but it still looks good anyway. The Zephyr is an aircraft that is made by Airbus, and they have actually moved this into Wyndham, Western Australia. Let's have a look at this aircraft. This is cool. Basically, in the stratosphere.
You know, what's funny is it actually reminds me, and I can't remember the book's one I read years ago, but it was a sci-fi book that used a technology similar to this, but this was like in the 70s.
Yeah.
Sci-fi has become real.
Really cool. So while we're sitting here, I'm just logging onto my iPad and see if I can log into the chat dashboard that Mel would have been using with his hillbilly internet. So yeah. Pardon me. Let me go to the next story while we're waiting to log in. So the next story is about traffic, something that everyone hates. Now, how do you use drones to fight traffic? And how do you use Bluetooth to fight traffic? before we play the video, what do you think, Mel? Lloyd, what do you think?
The drone to fight traffic, the only thing I could think of is it sends you signals through your Bluetooth into your phone and your Google's map to tell you to avoid this place or that. That's the only way I would think that it could be used.
No. So this is something different. This is something way cool. Play the video. And what they're actually doing, so the first bit is really easy. They've got an intersection that they're looking at and that they've got concerns with. And first thing is the drone's going to help you to understand what's happening at that intersection.
Okay.
Okay, but then how does that use Bluetooth? Let's have a look. It's going to keep coming. Okay, you can see overlaid on top of that are actually vehicles being tagged. So they can actually see how frequently vehicles come through the intersection, what their speed is, and all of the other parameters relating to that vehicle every time they go through that intersection. So it's a little bit Big Brother-ish, but it's really, really... Yes, it's a little bit Big Brother-ish.
It's a whole lot, you know, Orwell's 19...
Yeah, but by the same token, a Bluetooth MAC address is not identifiable to a person.
No, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
So I don't personally have... I'm a security guy. I've worked in IT security for a long time. I don't have a problem with them using anonymized data to go and help improve traffic flow. I mean, who doesn't want better traffic flow? And if you know that this guy is going to come back every day at 2 p.m. or whatever it might be, then you've got a good traffic model.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, we have to have certain understanding. So, you know, our privacy, there is no such thing as privacy anymore. I mean, it's just something people like to gripe about just because old people like me have nothing better to do than gripe about our loss of privacy.
Well, absolutely. It's what you live for.
Yeah. Especially guys like me. That's why I'm called the grumpy vlogger, you know.
So now you can be grumpy about something else. What's this about?
Yeah.
What's the next story about?
Let's see, next story. Yeah, okay, where we are. Oh, misleading no drone zone signs should be removed ASAP. On Wednesday, November 28th, we published our investigative piece into the supposed no drone.
So let's summarize. There's a big whole chunk of text there that Lloyd's reading from the run sheet, and it's a big chunk of text. Let me try and summarize a bit. Some people in an environmental context didn't want drones next to their park. So they said, well, instead of actually doing what we need to do and find out why drones can't fly there, we're going to go and get the FAA or some other airport and blame it on them. So they put up these no drone signs. But the problem was, it wasn't the number of required kilometres or miles away from the airport, and they had no authority to do that whatsoever, and they've been told to remove their signs. Same kind of thing happens in Australia. People have been in national parks in Australia, certainly in New South Wales. I know they try and use the excuse of helicopter landing sites as a reason why there shouldn't be drones in national parks. I think it's a bit cheeky, but you know, at the end of the day, drones should be regulated by the aviation regulators, not by anyone else. And that's my opinion on that one.
I agree with you on that too.
Yeah. So I've got one last funny story of the day, and this one is absolutely a cracker. I'm not gonna say anything. Let's just play the video.
It is a sad day in humanity when cowboys have been replaced by a friggin' robot.
But it's the cowboys that are building the robots, and that is way cool. And the Cowboys, let me just turn the music down a little bit. The Cowboys themselves, from a safety perspective, they can still do their job, but they can do it safer. So they're controlling this thing. They've got the ability to control it. But I think it's a really cool use of technology.
Yeah, I will agree with that, because I've been where that plot was at, trying to get that beef to move. Yeah, I've gotten caught up with some horses like that, or some cows, and you can get hurt pretty bad getting stuck in there like that back in my younger days when I rodeoed.
All I can say is that story is a whole lot of bull.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. Well, we are talking about the robot part, right?
Yeah, something like that. Hang on, I've got to do a Ken Heron. Where's my ching? There we go. Okay, I've got to get better and quicker at that, obviously. Anyway, moving along, it's time for our guest. It's Matt Northeast. We'd love to have Matt come on and join us. Matt, hello and welcome.
Hey, how are you going today?
I'm going well. By the way, I've got to clarify, is it Matt North or is it Matt Northeast?
It actually is Northeast, hey? But I started this YouTube channel years and years and years ago, and I never really had any content on it.
Yeah.
And I just put Matt North down. It was more like I don't know why, probably a lazy thing more than anything. And it just stayed there. So I don't know. I'll probably change it sooner or later.
So what direction are you following with your channel? Tish.
There you go. Push the button. Push the button.
That one. Okay.
I didn't hear it.
You don't hear it. Unfortunately, due to the limitations of Wirecast, this wonderful piece of software, our guests can't hear what everyone else can hear.
Oh, no.
Anyway.
I have to watch the replay.
Yeah. Okay. So, Matt, tell me about yourself. Where do you live?
I live up in Brisbane. I've been up here since 2002. Mm-hmm. I've done all sorts of things up here. I've flown all sorts of different things, fixed wing, for petrol powered and all that sort of stuff. Only recently sort of looked at, my mates got into FPV with their flying with planes and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool, but I like the idea of drone flying because it's a lot more controllable. You get a lot better footage out of it. When it comes to your aircraft and fixed wing, it's a bit quicker, and you can't really turn around to, just missed a spot, a drone, you can just slow down, turn around, have another look. Fixed wing, you got to fly. Yeah, it's just, the drones are awesome. I love it. Yeah. Okay. And where did you come from beforehand? You said you've only been up there a couple of years? Yeah, I was down in Adelaide. I was born and bred down there. Okay. Don't hold that against me. So
it's all good. It's all good. So let's.
My mate Adelaide's the one who sent me the
Vegemite.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So before we do anything else, I'm going to play some of your video content to share with our viewers, and we're going to chat about it and about how you use the drone. What drone are you flying, first of all?
Spark.
Okay. I should have actually asked that later. Play the video. Here we go.
Dag's Falls.
Just turn that audio down so we don't deafen ourselves. So when I looked at this video at first...
The Spark, it's not too bad at all for a tiny little thing. It's a lot of speed. Have more control over the camera. Actually, it's a huge valley, but I wanted to get some sort of perspective of depth. So I come around and get this tree in here. Now, it gives almost a 3D effect in my eyes, and it just, it's a beautiful valley, and there's the falls. But yeah, it's a lot of mucking around with ISO and shutter speed with the Spark to get a decent enough sort of picture. Now, a lot of the pictures.
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that, right? So, playing around with ISO and shutter speed, I know some drone photographers, and I won't mention who, but some of them say just stay on auto.
No. You can't do that, especially with something like this, the waterfalls, right? So the waterfalls down the bottom, they're very dark at the time of day that I was doing it. And to get any, especially if you have the falls there, you've got Dag's Falls here, you've got Queen Mary Falls. I've got a video on that on my channel too. And further down, there's Browns Falls, which I'll be doing at a later stage too, once this wind
and
stops.
We got
here
another
in
one.
Queensland. Here we go. Yeah, this is Springfield. in Queensland.
Springfield.
Yeah. There's Homer. Look, I've been to this park a million times and never really thought of anything about it. What? And I checked me. Can I the ISO? Now, if I didn't muck around with the shutter speed and ISO here, there's no way I would have got that. Like I said, till you look at it from the air and go, that is nice.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous.
And it's just basically flying slow and getting your light comes out. So hopefully.
Why Spark and why not Mavic 2? Is it
limited 720p? But it got me into the idea and it taught me actually how to fly the quad. Now I went to and all that, although I love them, absolutely love them.
So would you buy a Mavic 2?
If the Spark 2 didn't come out, or if they don't upgrade the Spark, I would definitely look at a Mavic for sure, for portability, not the Phantom, only because of its bulkiness. I know you like to fly the Phantoms. And I mean, they're a beautiful drone, don't get me wrong, the Phantom's got an awesome camera on them. But I would probably go the Mavic 2, over if the Spark isn't replaced. Yeah.
What about the Mavic Air? Because some of the stuff you were describing, you wish they'd come out in the Spark 2. You've already got on the Mavic Air, and it's a good price package, and it shoots 4K, and it's very, very foldable. I went from the Spark, which is what I actually still have my Spark, but I jumped up to the Mavic Air, and it's just for the size, especially when you're looking at portability, man, it's just awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Exactly, I know what you're saying. The only thing that would steer me away from it, although you've got one, so I don't know what the issues you've had, is that I would like to move up to at least OcuSync.
That's true. But
because I have heard that maybe in the past people have had Wi-Fi issues. I haven't had Wi-Fi issues myself with the Spark. I don't run parabolics, but I've never really had an issue with any connectivity there, except for the video connectivity, which the OTG fixed. But yeah, I'd like to move up. If I was going to upgrade, I would like to upgrade just about everything about it, and especially moving into OcuSync, I think would be a really good move.
Yeah, that would be the one thing I think I would like. Although I use an iPhone 10, so I don't. And with the Mavic Air, it uses the OTG anyways. Cable, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, look, I haven't had any issues with that OTG. The OTG is a fantastic thing, and I did understand that earlier on they did do an app upgrade, and the OTG was just null and void.
Removed.
But it's all there now, so that's the best thing for me. That's for sure. That's for sure. Massive difference with video quality.
Yeah. Just a quick comment for people watching. Yes, we are having some buffering issues, and we'll upload a copy of the video after the show. And if you have a look in that corner over there, there will be a link right now that you can press if you're watching the replay to go and watch a clean replay. So apologies if you're watching right now. We'll get a good one for you later. I've got one more quick question for you, Matt. In terms of going places, what's the best place that you've been outside of where you're currently flying?
Wow. Even overseas?
We're a big country. No, let's pick Australia. Oz by drone. We've got to talk Aussie.
Well, let me tell you something. Probably one of the best places right up through up to Bamaga. Absolutely stunning. You take some fantastic footage. I'd wished I'd had a drone then. So yes, I would say that if I was to go back up there, I'd be pulling the Spark out.
Yeah. Okay. We've got some cool footage in our Oz video section later, Explore Australia. So by all means, stick around. Thank you for sharing your video. And just a reminder, in the chat, we're putting your link out every few minutes or whatever, so people can go and check out your channel. Please do have a look at Matt's channel, have a look at some of his videos, and also have a look at the description for this video. You'll see many other links to the sources that we've used in today's program. But thank you for joining us, Matt. Very much appreciate you being our guest.
Not a problem, mate. Thanks very much for having me. It's been an honour.
I'll have you back another day.
I'll get some more footage when the wind stops, mate, and I'll send you a copy.
Sounds good. Okay, thanks again, Matt. I'll talk to you soon.
Good on you. See you, fellas.
Okay, and now we're going to move to
FPV Corner.
And this is a segment that Greg Hilton puts together for us week after week after week, and it's got some great video in there. Let's have a look. So basically, Greg's going and selecting what he thinks is the best FPV video of the week, if you like. This one was created by Steve K. And this was preparing for the Australian Nationals freestyle.
Wow.
I look at this week after week, this kind of footage, and I'm still nowhere near it on my little sim, but it's getting there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a sim, I guess, and do that too, or get a controller and then a sim, so I can start doing that.
Yeah, I made the mistake of getting a USB only controller, thinking that I'd get a cheap controller and plug it in and learn on the sim. But big mistake, because, you know, the feel of it just seems so tinny. So, you know, I should have got a decent controller.
Right.
For those
people,
people,
did you get?
It's an SM600. I'm looking at it right now. I don't know what brand it is, but yeah, if you do a search on YouTube for Mr. Steele, he's doing a series right now on people who want to get into FPV, and that was his first piece of advice: get a controller. And he's listed the, you know, the budget, decent controller that you should be looking at. I can't remember the name of it, but that's on my shopping list at some point.
Oh, it's put out by Fly Sky, I think.
Could be, or Frisky or Fly Sky, one or the other.
Yeah, Flisky Sky, however you say that.
Yeah.
It's the same. Craig. It's Fly Sky. At least here in the United States. You know, I don't know how you Australians say it.
We use the English language. We use the Queen's English because we are still part of the Commonwealth, you know.
Yeah, I know.
The place where the language was originated.
Yeah.
And there we go. So that was this week's FPV Corner. And again, just to remind people, we're going to feature an FPV video each week. If you want to have your FPV footage featured, send it in. Send it to, and this is a good time for me to go and prepare my screen. If you want to send us some video, send it to upload@gregkuhnert.com. Don't send the actual video file. Please just send a link to either YouTube or Dropbox or something like that so I can get that content down. Anyway, so that's the FPV Corner for this week, and now it's time for...
what have we got now? Competition? No.
Yes.
Competitions.
Yes, competitions. Yeah. What's in the Christmas hamper? Now, this is a continuation of what we did last week, what I mentioned last week. So to enter the competition is really simple. And the guy who entered last week, and I say the guy because only one person was smart enough to enter. Oh my goodness, one person entered. And it's really easy. All you have to do is comment on today's video after the show is over and make reference to two of the people that we featured. So 2 YouTube channels, leave that in your comment and say, well, I think Matt Northeast's videos were great, or if you don't, I think Matt Northeast videos suck. Of course, we don't think that. They were great. And I can still see Matt's face over there. I can still see Matt's face over there poking his tongue out.
Yeah.
So put a comment maybe about Matt's videos, maybe about the one that we just had a look at for Steve K, or any of the videos in Explore Australia or the viewer videos at the end, make a comment about 2 of them and go check out their channels as well. That's all you have to do. Put a comment on today's show after it finishes streaming. It will take a few minutes before you're allowed to comment. You can't comment while we're streaming, so do it after. Pretty easy. That's all. So what's the prize?
I don't know. What is the prize?
There are 2 prizes. The first one I've physically got here. It's a Stork drop system for a Phantom series drone. So it's got a box, and you can... I'm trying to get it out delicately. You can put stuff inside this box and have it drop those objects from underneath the drone. So I'm going to be doing a eval testing video on this. I was going to do something with John, but he's gone off traveling. So instead, I'm going to do a kind of a fishing style review. Going to put some bait in it and go out and fly it over the water and drop that in the water to let the fish know to come and find your hook. So that's going to be my eval. Although for the purpose of making sure whoever wins the prize, I'll use some bread for bait. I'm not going to use stinky, smelly prawns in your prize, so it's okay.
That would be nice. I'm sure they would appreciate that.
The second prize is a HDMI cloner box. I haven't got it here at the moment, and this is going to be given out as well. It's a device that allows you to record HDMI. So if you want to record the HDMI output from your drone controller or whatever, you can use the HDMI cloner box to do that. So those are the 2 prizes. Now, all you have to do to enter is, like I said, make a comment. Next week, we're going to look at this week's videos and pick the name of the person out of this week's videos who is in the competition. So it's kind of like a draw. So each week we're going to pick a couple of names out. You get to go into the draw. And the last show before Christmas, we'll go and pick the winners. If you had entered last week, you would have been in the draw because only 1 person entered. We were picking 2. So the 1 person that entered, you're in the draw. Anyway, I can't remember the name at the moment. We'll have a look at that a little bit later. So that's our Christmas giveaway.
Well, there you go.
And next on the list.
Explore Australia.
Yeah, it's time for Explore Australia.
All right. Exploring canola fields and today I can't even say that.
Let's just So the first one, let's just play the video. Exploring canola fields in 2DA.
2DA, okay. I butchered that.
So this particular location, the original village of 2DA, was one of the earliest inland towns in Western Australia. This video by habitat of the today, ranger by the name of Moondine Joe.
A bush ranger, is that like a bandit?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, yeah.
And our second clip today, Highwayman, yeah, you could call it that, Art of Adventure. So they've shot this one, Australia from above, some beautiful cinematic footage shot in 4K, showcasing some of Australia's natural beauty, shot on a Mavic Pro. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any documentation from him on what each of the different locations are in the video, so we're just going to have to enjoy it for its beauty and remember that everyone who's watching from outside of Australia, you're going to have to come here and find these places yourself.
Yeah, put into it, just falls right out the bottom.
Yeah, but your bucket's right next to you, mate. You're getting old, come on. Put a finger in it, put a finger in it.
Yeah, exactly.
The next clip is from Ben Crisfield Smith. This is from this particular short video highlights a series of moments taken from a mapping project at Cowboy. It's an introduction to the mapping process, linked to Ben's area. Next one is from Dwayne Rumsey. This was Eastern Australia, an aerial perspective. This was shot on a unique Typhoon Q500.
Oh, wow.
And again, unfortunately, I don't have the exact locations here, but certainly Eastern Australia.
Man, that's just beautiful.
That's why I love Showcase World. Why would you? That one was a bit controversial at the time. Sophie Monk, I think, was the one that did it.
Well, every time, I just expect him to hit those trees. So I keep covering my eyes up and peeking because I just know he's going to hit the trees. You know, it's the second one they've done that with. It's like, if it's me, I would have hit the trees.
Yeah. By the way, just in terms of beautiful places, just to let people know, the opening section that we have while the chat's starting up at the beginning of the show every week, that's my backyard. It's a hard life.
Oh,
anyway.
Man. It's rough. It is so rough on you.
Yeah. And Ferg Taz from Tasmania. Oh, actually, sorry, I missed one. Sorry, this is Rotorworks Honourable Moments, and they've cut it down into this short segment. So please do have a look at their channel. The link is in the description again. And each week we do upload a separate copy of the Explore Australia video without my boring commentary over it. So feel free to go and check that out in higher quality video than this 720p stream if you want to have a look at it in detail. Gotta love the colour of the red dust roads out there in the outback.
It's like western Oklahoma, nothing but red dust out there.
Yeah. So this one is Ferg Taz, and this one Tasmania is a beautiful place. They've particularly famous for their hydroelectricity, beautiful locations. Ferg Taz, if you're watching, and I hope you are, I'd love to have you as a guest. I'd love to have you.
His stuff always impresses me every time I see it. It's just amazing.
And also thanks to Jeff Sills for his contributions in putting the news together. That's very much appreciated as well. Oh, and the music went down thanks to Wirecast.
Filming.
Mm.
Oh, mate, look at that.
Man.
Geez, it makes my Dag's Falls look a little bit, look a hose running over the...
No, mate, no, your Dags...
No, your stuff looked good. Your stuff looked good. No,
I love your Dag.
Yeah.
Can you... The one falls, you know.
Mm.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I got some raw footage that I've got to edit. I've got to get around to it. I've got too much raw footage. This was shot over a year ago now at some waterfalls close to where I got married overseas. Beautiful, beautiful. I'll put that together one day.
Oh, look at that. What is it?
It went to his channel. I could probably find out in one of the comments, but it wasn't commented on this one, and I can't recall. It's too long ago. It was either a Mavic or a Phantom.
I'd like to actually. I'll watch the replay too, because I want to see if it was filmed, say, at least 60 frames per second. I could see if the spores were actually slowed down at all. I didn't really take much notice of that. I was too busy looking at what was around there, and it'd be interesting to see because. Especially if you can slow down some footage like that, can be absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of slowing things down, your internet's slowing down again. Thank you to our sponsors, Telstra. We love you.
Oh, no.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up, mate.
Oh, no. Sorry,
They're
dude.
not feeding the kangaroos enough to run fast enough to keep it powered. That's what the problem is. They need to feed those kangaroos more.
I got to get a picture of like a kangaroo wheel with kangaroos on it, and you know, this show is powered by Telstra kangaroos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then every time it slows down, you just slow down the wheel on the kangaroo and you say, "Well, there's our problem."
Yeah. By all means, stick around, Matt. We've just got a few more little bits left. So
certainly.
As we go on here, our next one is some viewer videos and other viewer-related content. And the first one, this one is just a photograph sent in by Chris Hope. Let me just mute your microphone.
What did I...
I don't know what you said, but it didn't sound good.
Oh, no. It wouldn't have been anything like that.
I can see it coming from me. I would say something like that. I have to watch myself on the internet.
Anyway, this one's sent in by Chris Hope. Thank you, Chris. Beautiful photo there. And the second one we've got just a few videos here. One from Mars Twerky Drones, Twerkomania.
Yeah, that guy is just a neat guy. He's one of my subscribers. Him and Chris Hope. Of course, Chris Hope and I are good friends too. So they're become good friends at Mars as well. Yeah.
So this video was put together. Greg Hilton took one of Mars's videos and shortened it just to make it a little bit of a feature spot for our show here today. Let's play the clip. We don't have any audio with this, but certainly this was an event that I assume Mars went to. This is the IDRL FPV competition round 1 in Melbourne. Mars says he had an absolute blast, got his first whoop quad on the ended.
To do that and get used to it, I think.
The halls and the corridors and you know who I mean?
Yeah, I know who he's right?
Yeah. My subscribers. Helicopter.
Yeah. He just
can be on here, but he can't based on work at that time of the day. He wanted to, but such is life. Moving on, we've got something else interesting, some drone billboards. So these, this was created by Remarkable Media, and they performed nights over the V8 Super. Ads are the largest drone-based aerial ads in the world, apparently. So that was interesting at the supercar racing. Just a short little clip, and with that, we've got one more for today to finish off on. Perth Tiny Whoop Monday's little flight. So speaking of tiny whoops that we were talking about before. So this one's actually been in my playlist for a while. This one under the table flight footage.
Up to where they can fly the way they do and then still have good image. We're going to see some unbelievably good flying.
Why is that? Is it a,
They're analog. They're not the same as the DJR series. It's like the old analog TV. 5.8 gig, yeah.
Yeah, 5.8 gigahertz. Yeah, it's
as well. 2.4 or 5.8 or 2. I can't remember now.
2.4, I think it is.
Yeah, I got it right.
2.4 and 5.8. Yeah.
So we're sharing the same band, but the difference is that when we use 5.8, we're using digital transmission.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Massive difference.
Yeah, because their stuff's more like what AM or FM type bandwidth.
So yeah, okay, that'd be like the AM bandwidth.
Yeah.
You look at that, I would have crashed ages ago, even at this speed. I mean, it's not
because he likes to, he likes to take his spark out and fly like this, and I'm thinking, no, you need something that you can replace the props on easily, because he, last time we flew together, he ran into a stop sign.
Well, actually, that's one thing that I do, and it's actually legally I have to fly with prop guards on anyway here in Queensland. Not sure about the rest of Australia.
Excuse me, what?
Prop guards.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah. Have you got any of them in your bag, man?
Who said you have to fly with prop guards in Queensland?
Yeah, I read it. Now, I can't remember the source where I got it from, but that is a legal requirement when flying outdoors. Is you have to have
A requirement, and whoever told you that
no.
cannot regulate airspace. Only CASA exclusively can regulate airspace.
Right.
Local regulations can do, they can prevent you from taking off.
Yeah. Like
Or
national
from landing.
parks. Yeah.
Yeah, the famous one, national parks, can say, we don't want you to take off. Speaking of national parks, you told me the other day, and we forgot to talk about this earlier.
Yes.
You told me the other day that you're allowed to fly in national parks in Queensland?
Sure can. Take off and land. So that's a good thing.
Well, it's better to have both if you can.
Yeah. That would suck. You take off, but you got to land, 20 miles the other side of the national park. Yeah.
Can you just explain where you got that from?
Yeah, I was actually looking at flying up at the Glasshouse Mountains up in the Sunshine Coast. And it took me ages to try and find someone to give me an answer. There was nothing on the web about it or anything. And I finally rang this number, which took about 3 days to answer, and it was the park ranger. And I actually got hold of her. And she informed me that it was okay to fly in a national park. And I said, does that involve every national park within Queensland? And she said, yes. So everywhere
I would
you
love
go,
to have that documented in writing.
You know what? I can't find it in writing, but I have flown in multitudes of national parks and areas. There have been rangers at the time, not far from where I am, and nothing has ever been said. And it's the same with the Somerset Dam region and the Wivenhoe and all that sort of bizzo. You can fly anywhere there. Yeah.
Just to share with you my New South Wales experience, I wanted to fly in my local national park, the Royal National Park. It's close to me.
Yeah.
I rang up and they said, no, you can't do that. And I had a look on their website and it said something different. The website says, you need to speak to the area manager. So I said, can I speak to the area manager? No, you can't. But the website says I can. Can I speak to the area manager? I need to make an application. No, you can't.
You can't do that, peasant. You must come to the throne.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So to cut a long story short, my particular local national park has got someone in their management who's got a bee in their bonnet about drones and has made a decision that they're not going to allow that anywhere, which is different to what the law says. So I wrote to the minister, the environment minister, and they sent me on a wild goose chase and told me to email this guy over there who's about to update the policy. And I emailed that guy there and he never replied and never got back to me. So down the rabbit hole. Thank you to the New South Wales government.
Yeah, it's hard, mate. It's hard when it comes to dealing with the legislation and things like that, because really not a lot of people have all the information they need in the areas that you're looking for. And a lot of people can't answer your questions.
But here's the thing again. Technically speaking, who can regulate airspace? The answer is CASA. New South Wales Parks and Wildlife have actually come to the conclusion they can't regulate airspace, right? But their way of dealing with it is to say, well, all of these different places dotted all over our national parks are helicopter landing sites. Therefore, you can't land or take off within 5.5 nautical miles or 5.5 kilometres of those locations without our approval, and we're not giving approval. So that's the way that they're trying to block people out of the location, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I forget the wording now on the Can I Fly There app.
But these are undocumented helicopter landing sites.
That's right, and CASA has no information, etc., about what's going on there. And if you become aware of an aircraft that is flying,
then you must land. Absolutely.
Land. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's right.
But they're trying to cite safety as a reason why you can't fly in national parks.
Yeah, okay.
But hang on, CASA is the safety regulator, not the national park.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
right.
I'll stop whinging today. Enough whinging. While we're here, I've just a couple of quick comments. So to iSpike, thank you for your comment, wishing good luck to the producer in her new job. I'm waiting for a reaction. Speaking of which, she's kind of telling me to wind up because she wants to get to the job. Manic Magic, I can fly in my national park with permission, but only for leisure. Obviously, you can if you don't get caught, says Fly Natural. Yeah. Lots of good comments there. Look, we'll leave it there for today. Just as we close down, the Everyday Dad has his live stream at this time. My encouragement to you is jump into his stream, say hello, and tell him Oz by Drone sent you. We'll be back next week, but one day earlier in the week, so 6 days from now instead of 7. So that's Friday for US people, Saturday for Aussies. That's about all I've got. Oh, special announcements as always. If you want to send us some video that we can share, upload at gregkuhnert.com. Please do follow us on social media, and you know, please do share our channel and our videos. That will help us to grow. If you got anything you would like to send us physical, there's our address, 5/127 Princess Highway, Sylvania. And don't forget Drone Camp, which is happening in 2019. This is for youngsters who want to learn how to fly properly. It's been put on by John Morrison, myself, and a number of other people. So that's all for today. It was good having you, Mr. Lloyd, Mr. Grumps. Have you got your Vegemite toast there?
No, I didn't fix any tonight because I was eating chili. I didn't have time to fix any toast before the show started.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for filling in at short notice. And just before we go, just because I need to have my badum tish one more time, tell me a joke.
Here's one for the kiddos. How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? 10. 10 tickles.
Oh my God.
That's a dad joke. It's a dad joke.
It's definitely a dad joke.
Yeah,
look,
definitely a dad joke.
It was fun having you, Lloyd. It was fun having you, Matt. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Goodbye, everybody. Remember, I'm on Monday nights at 7 o'clock.